I am Aaliyah Nava and I'll be discussing the second stage of cultural imperialism. A cultural imperialism and New World Information and Communication, are also known as NWICO. A second stage of research identified with cultural imperialism has been associated with calls to revive the New World Information and Communication Order debate. Cultural imperialism is the idea that one culture, often from more powerful countries, dominates and influences other culture through things like media, movies, music, and more. Just like what my co-presenter talked about earlier in the first stage of cultural imperialism. The main idea was that the government, usually from powerful Western countries, use media and culture to influence and dominate other countries. In this new phase, researchers want to bring back a discussion called the NWICO. This debate is about making global information and culture more balanced, so one culture doesn't overpower others. So now let's go ahead to the second slide, which is shift in focus from government to big companies. The focus has shifted from governments to large international companies, also known as transnational corporations, as the main players influencing culture and media. Instead of just looking at how images and media spread, the emphasis is now on how money moves across borders. So how does companies shape culture in the stage? They shape the culture in stage by using the culture as a product. Making money is the goal. Spreading culture worldwide. Money flow over culture flow. So why does the government is not the main player anymore? Or why did it shift from government to big companies? Because government used to play a big role in controlling the culture, like promoting their own culture or restricting foreign content. Now, governments still influence culture, but companies are more powerful because they have more money to create and distribute culture globally. Use technology to reach global audiences instantly. Also, they get government support through tax breaks or relaxed regulations. So now with the third slide, let's talk about the blurred lines from big companies and government. It's hard to separate the influence of big companies from the government, and it's also tricky to tell the difference between the flow of money and the flow of media content. Media companies spread cultural content and earn profits, while governments regulate or support these companies. Because culture and money flow together, it's hard to tell where one influence ends and the other begins. It's tricky to separate the flow of cultural content like movies or music from the flow of money, as companies invest money to spread culture and profit from it. Both cultural influence and financial motives are deeply intertwined in today's global media landscape. This is the last part of the second stage of cultural imperialism, the debate: cultural imperialism versus globalization. The evolution of the debate is mainly a redirection of emphasis rather than a paradigm shift. So why is it a redirection, not a paradigm shift? Because core idea stays the same. Both cultural imperialism and globalization debates still discuss how culture is spread and who controls cultural influence. The core concern about cultural power and influence hasn't changed. It's just the details that have shifted. They focus on companies instead of governments. The debate shifted from governments being the main cultural influencers to companies being the main drivers of cultural content. Globalization adds nuance and doesn't replace. Globalization isn't rejecting cultural imperialism. It adds complexity by suggesting cultures influence each other. And for the last point, money versus culture flow. The shift to discussing money flow, how companies invest and profit from culture rather than just the flow of cultural content, is another redirection of emphasis, not a whole new debate.